Be swift to listen, but slow to speak, and slow to wrath. For the wrath of man does not worketh the righteousness of Elohim. It's easy to get angry, to be filled with outrage, to be triggered, to lash out, both with words and with actions. Because our emotions often get the better of us. One of the great things about these workouts, this training and exhausting myself before I get here on this message, is that it expunges, it extinguishes, it rinses all of the negative frequencies, the wayward thoughts, and the chaotic meanderings that fill one's mind, all the various things that flood our conscience as we go about our day, as we start to cogitate, as we start to analyze and assess the world around us, or the news. You get hit with that news, you get hit with that social media feed, and it's so much of it is set up to cause you to go volatile. And I don't necessarily mean physically volatile, but certainly mindset-wise, because we get indignant at the violence and the tumult and the frenzied nature of this world when others who don't hold the same views as us start to make their stand and say things that we find stupid or that we find to be abhorrent or against all that we stand for. And so or let alone if we're speaking to someone and they provoke us. Imagine that. They provoke us with their words and their actions and their deeds. It drives us crazy. But we must be slow and measured and temperate in our approach to the thoughts and the ideas and the views of others. We must listen and not be so quick to fly off the handle, to get enraged, to get angry, to come to wrath, because this is weakness. Wrath and anger, frenzied nature is for those who do not have, or those who cannot contain themselves, so those that are filled with a lack of self-control, a lack of self-discipline. If you are ill-tempered, if you cannot show meekness, which is not weakness, but meekness as in controlling your emotions, controlling your passions, keeping everything under control, keeping everything temperate, even keel, and showing the strength, the wisdom, the determination to hold back from getting absolutely unrelenting and crazed with your feelings and your emotions and wanting to pour that out to whoever you're speaking to, such that you get your point across in an emotional way. And when I say we, I mean me, because this is certainly something I've struggled with over my life. I am hair triggered. I react. I'm reactionary. I'm filled with passion. And I let it out. Lash out. Rage. Rage. A strong voice, a loud voice. And I can direct that energy. And sometimes it starts out as a wide beam of wrath. And then as it comes in and it hones and it gets focused, the hot, intense light of that lasered intensity can just absolutely cut through steel. But over time, especially living in Yahuwah Yahusha and wanting to work His will, submitting completely, surrendering to Yahuwah Yahusha, and asking Him to destroy my ego, dissolve my ego, obliterate my ego, and turn me into a pure vessel for His message, a pure instrument of His will, and to show me, guide me, direct me on how to live my life in a manner that pleases Him most, and to truly live and to know, as I know, the commandment from which all good things spring, from which all productive things spring, which all love and healing springs, which is to love Yahuwah Yahusha with all my heart, soul, mind, and strength, and to love my neighbor as I love myself, to nurture my fellow man as I nurture myself. And so one of the things, the instinct to be hair-triggered and to lash out and to be enraged, and I don't mean out of control. That's a whole nother kettle of fish. Having a temper such that you are completely out of control and you're screaming, you're freaking out, you're throwing things, sometimes you're even fighting, and I mean sometimes even physically. No, I never really got that way. But certainly yelling and just absolutely getting enraged with my voice and my temper, that's definitely been something that I've, over time, especially living in Yahuwah Yahusha, and especially over these last couple of years and even over this last year, really starting to focus in on a lot of the teachings of Paul, the Apostle. Really trying to be a lot more stoic, a lot more thoughtful, a lot more measured, and to really, really dial in and not lash out, not be hair-triggered, not be quick-tempered, not just react, but to listen, be slow to listen. And that's the hardest thing, because a lot of the time, our rage, right, those wild thoughts that we just want to vocalize, it's more like a reflex, being quick to anger. It's a reflex. But the ability, and that's difficult to control, but it takes time. However, real strength is shown in pulling back from that. Meaning, okay, the reflex happens, and you start to yell, you start to get angry, you start to get mad, you start to vocalize this and voice this in an intense manner, but then to simmer. Take a deep breath and pull back from that and show a lot more discipline, a lot more control. That's strength.